Viewer's question: the difference between a fitter and crew job. So I've been asked a few questions which I'm going to answer in this video. So this one's come through. Got a question for you. Some people have been asking me all the time when discussing hard rock underground, and it's why don't you just get a trade instead of doing a hard rock underground? You can make six-figure income doing that. Could you please make a video addressing this common question? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And the other question is, hey, do you think getting a diesel mechanic apprenticeship within underground is worthwhile? Okay, yes, it can be because it pays good money, but the other way that a lot of the underground employers work is that they poach them from after they finish their trades in other areas. So the only problem with trying to get a diesel mechanic apprenticeship in underground is that there's not many of them around. Whereas if you can just pick up a diesel apprenticeship wherever, in farming or in transport or wherever you can find one, then once you finish your apprenticeship, the companies actively poach first years and second years out of their trade for the industry. So it's easy to get poached like that. Now for the main question that brought this on, the big difference is fitters fit in to the pay structure about mid-tier, so they make about what Charge Up and the Bogger makes. Over my career, they've made a lot less than that, and they've made more than that. It just depends whether we're in a downturn or an upturn. But the thing that you've got to remember about it all is when you talk to the bosses, and I've talked to a lot of bosses and a lot of weddies about this over the years, is that the miners tend to equate with people that make the money when the fitters are maintenance, which is a cost. And you've got to remember that a lot of the big bosses look at maintenance as just a cost, whereas they look at the miners as people that are earning the money. Now, on the flip side is that it's not, they can bring a fitter in, or they can bring a diesel mechanic in, or even two of the best fitters I've ever actually had underground was a panel beater and a spray painter. And because the clue to it all is in the job title, they're fitters. There's really no time to fix anything underground. It's all straight swap, new for old. And it's just about getting the bit of machinery back up and running as quickly as they possibly can. And that's what it's all about. So it's hard to say which is better. I know a lot of fitters, think that the trade, they've done 4 years and all that sort of stuff. But by the time you get to a jumbo or a shift boss's job, you've had to do more than 5 years in the industry. And it's like doing your trade that way. You can get overseas work with the fitters' jobs, but it doesn't pay anywhere near what the jumbo foreman or shift boss pays. It's just whether you want to sort of go into that mid-tier level, and I suppose there's an element of safety with it, with a fitter's job. If for some reason that the mining industry does go into a downturn, then you've got other options to go and use your trade somewhere else. But that works both ways, because the boom that we're about to go, or the boom that we're in at the moment, is about to ramp up to the next level. And instead of paying fitters more, I'm pretty sure that they'll do what they did in 2006, 2007, 2008, and again in 2010, 11 and 12, is that they'll go and bring a whole heap of fitters in from overseas, which they're allowed to do. They're not allowed to bring a whole heap of people in from overseas for the crew jobs. And that's why the crew jobs, they tend, when we go into a boom, into the area of the boom like we're about to, that they tend to jump in wages quite quickly, where the fitters might be stay where they are for a little while, purely because it's the miners that are the ones that are making the companies all the money with the production that they're producing. Yes, the miners can't do anything if they don't have the fitters there to fix stuff. That is obvious as. But by the same token, if the miners aren't there, the fitters don't have anything to do either. So that's the reason why you can get paid a lot more as a miner, and depending on what's going on, it just depends on which way you want to go. But as a fitter, you're not going to get a 2 and 2 on $250,000 a year sort of thing. You'll get a 2 and 2 on 180 or 160 to 200,000 on a 2 and 2, but you won't get that big $300,000 plus job that most people are chasing. And that's your jumbo, shift boss, foreman type roles now. And if you want that bigger money, then that's the pathway to go down. And like when I first started, fitters were just getting paid a little bit more than truck drivers were getting paid. You know, bogger operators were making twice as much as fitters were. And then, you know, sort of 10 years later, fitters were making maybe $50 a shift more than bogger operators are making. And now, you know, a good bogger operator is making $1,000 a day or more. Now, a good breakdown fitter's probably making that, but the guy just working in the workshop is probably still only making his $700 a day, or her $700 a day as a fitter, or maybe $800 a day. It just depends, and it's easy to slide the crew's wages up and down as the price goes up for things or the price goes down for things. It's not that, it's a lot harder to move the fitters' wages around, which is why, you know, it swings and roundabouts. So I just tell everybody that, you know, if you want the really big paying job, then the crew's the way to go. If you just want a mid-tier job that you can just plug into and just bounce along with, then, you know, a fitter's job is probably, it could be the good way to go. But again, you know, you're not getting paid the really big money, and you're not going to get that opportunity to travel overseas to get that huge money. I mean, they do take fitters overseas, but they don't pay them the sort of money that they pay jumbo operators. So I hope that makes sense and I answered your question. Yeah, if you've got any more questions, please send them in, and if you can like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.